Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your. Steve Kerr is one of the best coaches in the NBA, but in the last 2 seasons he has made mistakes that have prevented the Warriors from winning important games. In the last game of the regular season, Steve Kerr left Jonathan Kuminga out of the rotation, which is absurd, because Kuminga is talented and has good scoring ability and could help the Warriors go straight to the playoffs. Steve Kerr's relationship with the players is showing signs of wear and tear. If the Warriors are not successful this season, Steve Kerr will be fired, so that a renewal and a new cycle can begin. The play-in could have been avoided if Kerr didn't make these critical errors. The Golden State Warriors suffered a heartbreaking overtime loss to the Los Angeles Clippers on Sunday, subsequently ending their regular season in the 7th seed of the Western Conference. With a win against the Clippers, the Dubs would have sealed a playoff spot. Instead, the Warriors will now battle Memphis for another chance at getting into the 2025 NBA playoffs. Given the back-and-forth nature of Sunday's game, there's no single play that could necessarily be pinpointed as to why the Warriors lost. With Golden State stars most notably Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler playing just about as good as you could have expected, the eyes need to turn to the coaching staff on why the team came up short. Steve Kerr made some critical coaching errors against the Clippers. There has been a spotlight on Steve Kerr and his coaching decisions since his second year as an NBA head coach. After leading the Warriors to a championship in his first season and the greatest regular season of all time in his second, Kerr was criticized for some of his rotational decisions in the 2016 NBA Finals. Since then, the expectations for the Warriors have been sky-high, and so have the expectations of Kerr as coach. Now, after the Warriors fell short in a must-win game to get a playoff spot, the questions about Kerr's decision-making are coming up once again. Kerr made a few key coaching decisions on Sunday night that may have sealed the Warriors' play-in tournament spot. First and foremost were his rotational choices down the stretch, having kept Gary Payton II on the floor despite the veteran guard getting killed in the James Harden matchup during overtime. Payton continuously couldn't keep Harden from getting by him, causing multiple key scores and assists for Harden down the stretch. The former MVP had 12 of the Clippers' 13 points in overtime, including a pair of dagger threes that immediately put the Warriors on the back foot. It isn't uncommon for Kerr to lean on veterans like Payton heavily, but with the way Moses Moody had been guarding earlier in the game, it was a critical error to let Harden continuously cook steps lower GPI high. Kerr also only played Stephen Curry and Draymond Green for 38 minutes in the game, while Tyronn Lue played Kawhi Leonard and Harden for 47 and 48 minutes respectively. If the Warriors were as desperate to win this game as they claimed, Curry and Green should have been on the floor for longer periods. Some may argue that Jonathan Kuminga, who was benched for this crucial game, should have seen game time as well. The final play of the game has also brought on Kerr criticism, having drawn up a classic Curry decoy play for a Buddy Hield three-point attempt. Hield had been seated on the bench for a long stretch before getting the game-tying attempt, and barely touched rim on the shot as a result. The greatest shooter of all time was left to watch on from the other side of the floor, having finished with 36 points on a red-hot 7 of 12 from beyond the arc. As a result of these errors, Golden State are headed back to the play-in tournament. They face Memphis on Tuesday for a chance at grabbing the 7th seed and facing the Houston Rockets in the first round. The Warriors will be favored in the game and should have a great chance at winning. But before they do, Kerr and his coaching staff should look long and hard at some of their decisions from Sunday's loss and see if adjustments need to be made. In Steve Kerr's eyes, Jonathan Kuminga probably forgot how to play basketball within 10 days. When the Warriors beat the Lakers 123-116 on April 3, Kuminga was widely praised for his impact on both ends of the floor. Kerr and Draymond Green couldn't stop raving about Kuminga's ability to stay in front of LeBron James and Luka Doncic, and why his athleticism unlocks the Warriors and makes them more formidable defensively. During Sunday's regular season finale, Kuminga did not see the floor as the Warriors suffered a 124-119 OT loss to the Clippers. Even before the game, Kerr acknowledged Kuminga wasn't a good fit in lineups next to Green and Jimmy Butler, and reasonably so. It's never a wise call to play three non-shooters at the same time in the modern NBA, which is why Kuminga, Butler, and Green don't fit. However, Kuminga could have provided a spark off the bench, especially defensively. The Clippers exploited Golden State's mediocre point-of-attack defense with James Harden and Kawhi Leonard getting to the rim at will. Inexcusable coaching by Kerr. Rather than mixing things up, Kerr was insistent on putting the undersized Gary Payton 2 on Harden, which yielded disastrous results. Harden shot 4 of 5 when guarded by Payton before finishing with 39 points and 10 assists. Kerr also erred by asking Buddy Hield to check Leonard, who shot 2 of 3 in 7.4 partial possessions in their matchup. Granted, Kuminga wouldn't have slowed down Harden or Leonard, but he could have at least challenged them a little more. It was malpractice on Kerr's part not to give Kuminga at least a few minutes, if nothing, to throw a different body at Harden and Leonard. After the loss, Kerr tried to justify the Kuminga benching by noting that Gue Santos also didn't enter the game. "We've just found a group since Jimmy got here that we're pretty comfortable with," Kerr explained, via NBC Sports. Gue Santos didn't play either. Gue's been our highest plus-minus guy over the last 2 months. Both he and JK have been really impactful players for us. And it doesn't mean they're out of the loop going forward, it's just this is how this game played out. In other words, Kerr admitted he doesn't trust Kuminga in a high-stakes game with playoff implications. That's fair. As a championship-winning coach, he has earned the right to field the players he trusts. But would it really have hurt the Warriors to give Kuminga a brief look? Warriors delivered Jimmy Butler injury update that will have huge play-in impact. Golden State fans can breathe a little easier. The Golden State Warriors will be out to secure the 7th seed in the Western Conference when they host the Memphis Grizzlies at Chase Center on Tuesday night. After a narrow, emotion-packed and bitterly disappointing loss to the LA Clippers in the regular season finale, the Warriors will have to lift themselves off the canvas against a rested Grizzlies team looking to take advantage of their opponent's potentially weary legs. Jimmy Butler is cleared to go for the Warriors on Tuesday. Jimmy Butler played an incredible 48 minutes against the Clippers, but it was his late collision with Kawhi Leonard that would have left Golden State fans most anxious heading into Tuesday's game. Leonard kneed Butler in the thigh on a drive to the basket in the final minute of overtime, leaving the 6X All-Star grimacing in pain and limping around in concerning fashion. While Butler remained on the floor for the final couple possessions, it was without impact as his team fell to an agonizing 124-119 defeat. However, the 35-year-old has been cleared for Tuesday's game against the Grizzlies, with Warrior fans now allowed to breathe a little easier as their team looks to win the right to face the Houston Rockets in the first round. Butler's comparative play-in tournament success will be vitally important to a team looking to rid their nightmares. The Warriors are 0-3 since its inception in 2021, including back-to-back losses that year to the Los Angeles Lakers and the Grizzlies. Butler, on the other hand, has found some success in the play-in tournament, including in 2023 where the Miami Heat secured the 8th seed, which sparked an unlikely run all the way to the NBA Finals. Butler isn't the only Golden State star to be dealing with some injury issues, with Stephen Curry having his thumb wrapped up heavily during Sunday's game after re-aggravating it against the Portland Trail Blazers 2 days earlier. While the thumb sprain could be an ongoing concern for Curry, the 2X MVP still went for 36 points on a scorching 7 of 12 from three-point range against the Clippers, including 18 fourth-quarter points that nearly got his team over the line. As the Warriors were fighting desperately to secure the 6th seed on Sunday, the Grizzlies were condemned to 8th even prior to their game against the Dallas Mavericks. That afforded them the opportunity to rest a host of key players, including Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., Santi Aldama, Zach Edey, and Scottie Pippen Jr. Memphis will be without Jalen Wells after his nasty fall last week that left him with a broken wrist, leaving them with an answer to be found on how best to guard Curry after he went for 52 points at FedEx Forum on April 1. The Warriors won 3 of the 4 regular season meetings between the two teams, but that will count for little on Tuesday when both fight tooth and nail to clinch a playoff spot.